Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot on a Sunday. It's me, Georgie, and with me I have...
Oh, it's Mr. Georgie again.
Always
Straight out of the
Mr.
lab.
Georgie. Straight out the lab.
Yeah.
Fresh to the plate.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we talking about today?
Where should we start? Clown world at its, well, it's 100 mile an hour clown world, isn't it?
Well, it is really.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought we'd touch on a few different things. You know, things have been happening this week.
Got a few things going on, haven't we?
The first couple of ones are more sort of to do with us in the UK, but, you know, America, yeah, I'm sure you can sympathise with what we're going through at the moment with banks.
Oh, the banks.
So you kick off with Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage.
Yes.
We touched on that the other week, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did. Well, the last couple of weeks.
Last couple of weeks. Coots,
the Queen's Bank.
Queen's Bank.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, basically, they cancelled his account.
Yeah.
And in the first place, the reason was not enough funds.
Yeah.
Which my understanding of that is, if you drop below $1 million in your account, they can basically say you haven't got enough money to have us look after your money.
But that's highly breaching their personal
Oh,
details,
well, they've
what
have we got?
Look, we've got Shadowland
Tarot.
do like
Right,
these. They're a little bit quirky, but they really see the dark side, and yeah. So look at, just before you pull, you got to think before you pull.
I'm thinking.
Okay, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I've got to pull a card.
No, that's not good enough.
Oh, right, okay.
You're gonna have your question. Get your hands out. The question is about breaching a client's confidentiality. Thinking about how much money they've got in their account.
And then it goes even further than that.
So have a think about that.
I'm thinking.
Now, where do you want to pull from?
I'm going to pull from here.
Go on then.
There's one here that's
Good.
needed.
Good. That's the one.
Right,
that's the one. I can feel it.
Whatever that is.
This is your cups card. Three of cups here. Yeah, I mean, it's really bad decision. The Three of Cups, you could say this is like the banking institutions, what have you. They would all be working together normally, and it's, you know, simpatico, everybody working together, pulling together. Well, you know, this is wrong. This is just not what you do, is it?
No.
If you're in a position of power like a bank, you don't start discussing your client's accounts, you know, and the emotion here, the upset, this is upset for Nigel Farage, for his family, because it's not just his bank account, is it? It's his family as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is real upset, from the heart upset that your banking account details are being spoken about. Also, from the bank's point of view, this is very unwise decisions. This way up, you know, clubbing together, working together, all of the banks, this is all of them working together. Well, yes, they are working together. They're working together for World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab and all that.
PayPal have done it as well. PayPal have done it.
Yeah. So, you know, this is really unwise decisions from the bank, and also the actual turmoil that they've caused to probably not only Nigel Farage, but other customers.
Loads of other people, yeah.
You know, so,
So this runs even deeper because Nigel Farage has actually released the details or the statement that Coots sent to him because Coots have breached all sorts of things and all sorts of confidentiality data laws and all that sort of thing and guess who else is involved? The bullshit broadcasting company.
Of course.
Because it turns out that the financial expert correspondent or whatever you want from the BBC had dinner with the lady who's responsible for Coots, and they were having a private conversation, and I believe that BBC released a bit more about it than they should have done. So anyway, Nigel Farage got a statement from Coots, and I believe it was something like 31 pages long, and basically the reason that they shut his account down, and I don't think they've opened another account or given him his account back yet.
Okay.
The reason they did it was because they didn't like his political views, the Brexit situation, the Trump situation, basically everything about him went against what that lady, Dame, is it Alison Rice or something or other, is her name? Everything that she stands for alongside the World Economic Forum and all that lot.
Then on banks being able to control your politics, basically. Banks sort of saying, well, we don't like your politics. Well, it's none of the bank's bloody business, is it?
It's none of the bank's business.
Politics are.
None whatsoever.
You know, unless you're, I don't know. Well, no, even if you were something obnoxious, it's none of the bank's business. Yes,
none of their business, is it? No, none of their business. Come on then, just pull on the banks, you know, overstepping their mark as far as... Just a little thought, though, they'd be quite happy to play with your money on the stock exchange, wouldn't they?
Of course they would. The magician is manifesting things, but also the magician, and I always say this with it, it's in this situation, it's sneaky behavior. It's like well, it's virtue signaling, and it's sort of doing something with this hand while the other hand's doing something else, you know. It's just deception. The magician, it can be quite a positive card, but you know, with the influences that we've got here, it's got very dark undertones. And with this particular deck, the Shadowland, you know, we're looking at the shadowy side of things here. And the magician in his shadow side is making things happen for your own benefit. I think, you know, a good-hearted magician manifests things for other people. But you know, the dark side of the magician, it manifests for itself. The bank is, you know,
of course it is. The bank's only looking after one person.
Of course.
And I mean, that woman will be on a mega £1 million salary every year.
Yes.
So she doesn't care at all. She doesn't care.
No.
But apparently, the government have now put in legislation that the banks can't do what they've done this week.
So does this mean that our banking system is going to be overhauled now?
I don't know whether that is the case or not, but it bloody well needs to be.
Let's pull on it, just see if that's any kind of, you know, indication that things are going to
change. There's a lot of things that need to be overhauled.
Definitely need to change. What have we got here? Pentacles, that's a money card. What have we got here? Six of Pentacles. Well, it's going to take a while. Six of Pentacles is your give and take card. If it had been pulled that way up, the right way up, this is, well, you know, we give you our money, you give us our interest, give and take. It's a fair exchange of, you know, it's a fair exchange. We haven't got it that way. We've still got it this way up. I think things will change, but
the thing is,
it's not going to be quick.
They're desperate to get this digital currency through.
This is it.
They're desperate for it. They want to get rid of cash. They're more worried about this digital currency, which is basically going to be a Chinese social credit score system.
Yes.
So that every single piece of whatever the money that you're going to get, whatever you're going to be doing, is going to be tracked and controlled. That's what they basically want.
Oh, we went past a busker in the town yesterday, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, busker, yeah.
Yeah, and he was playing. Oh, really good. He was playing like a trombone, but he was playing like sort of really nice hits and things.
Yeah,
he had a trombone, he had a hat, and then he had a little sort of framed sign, didn't he? Credit cards accepted.
Probably a QR code or something.
Yeah, or credit cards accepted here. It's like, really? Yeah. I was going to actually throw some money in, and I thought, no, I'm not doing that.
No, if he's doing that,
you're accepting credit cards. You probably
the thing is, yeah, he probably is. I don't know. It's but yeah, I'm seeing more and more people now.
Yes.
Are, instead of taking out a card to pay,
yes,
they're literally just holding their phone.
Yes.
Over the chip and pin
then
machine.
The next thing from that will be you'll have a chip in your thumb. And you'll just be doing.
And people think you that's crazy saying that, but it is where it's going to go.
Well, the next generation Z, isn't it? Or Z,
whatever it is, the younger people, they can't stand having cash.
No,
they don't know, it frightens them.
Yeah, well, they can't give out change either. I've been.
They can't count, basically.
No.
I've been in a couple of places and they've struggled to
if you
give
give them the odd money, that really throws them. It's
completely.
Like such and such, you give them the money to round it up, so they need to give you a fiver, for example, as change.
Yeah, it throws
just
them
don't even bother. Yeah. Interesting. So have you got anything else to say about banks and Nigel Farage?
No, I mean, Nigel Farage has been on it and he's really exposed a lot of them. And again, if people still think that the banks are looking after them,
Oh God.
then they're sillier than, but people are stupid, aren't they? But they're sillier than you expect them to be.
Absolutely.
So keep the cash going. Keep the cash going. You've got to look after that cash, because they are doing everything they can to take that away from you. And if you've got it on your phone, if you've got your card details on your phone, get it off your bloody phone.
Yeah,
and stop relying on your phone.
Well, that
they've trained you. They've trained you to get to the position that you're in now. They've trained you by giving you more and more and more on your phone.
So let's have one final card just for Nigel Farage and just the overall atmosphere around Nigel Farage, good, bad, indifferent. Nigel Farage, these cards. We got what's the Nigel Farage? Well, he's the hangman, but he's in reverse. So I think that he has been very much, when your bank account is frozen, you're in the hanged man. You know, you can't move, and it's sort of a bit sort of stuck, trying to look at things in all different directions and trying to work out what to do, which he's done.
So yeah, don't forget. So he then, when they froze his account, he then went to, was it 9 different other banks?
9 different banks.
So they're all working together to basically not let him have an account.
Exactly. So he really was in the hanged man. Yeah. He couldn't move. So, but we've pulled it the other way up. This is resolution. You know, this is resolving something, being able to cut yourself down from being hung, basically, and being able to move on. So, you know, good for him. He's out of the hangman. I'm not quite sure.
I don't know whether he's got an account.
But he's been proactive, and he's taking control of the situation.
The interesting thing to know would be, who were the other nine banks that wouldn't give him an account?
I don't think it matters. I think
it does. You could rattle them off, and you're gonna get at least 4 or 5 of them that you know of.
Every bank.
This has got to be, isn't it?
It's every bank. They're all in it together. They're all in some way controlled by World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
We're allowed to see that.
Well, we have now. And I hate them. I hate them.
I know.
Because I know exactly what they're doing to this world.
Yeah.
And still, people will not see it.
Well, if you turn around to most people, just the average person on the street, and said, who is Klaus Schwab? They go, who?
They won't know who he is.
Never heard of him.
They won't know who it was.
You know.
And they don't want to know who he is.
They know who Gates is, but if you said, Fauci, no, who?
Like Fauci, there's something interesting on Fauci this week, isn't there?
I don't know what's happened.
Dr. Rand Paul, over in America, has basically got him to the point where Fauci's going to have to go before a court and probably be prosecuted and all the rest of it. And the day after Rand Paul had got him to that point, Rand Paul's office suddenly burns down.
Show me a card on that one. Rand Paul's office burning down after all this.
Senator Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul. He's hounded him for the best part of 2 years.
Well, 4 of Swords is a death card. You know, I mean, we're looking Shadowlands here. We're looking at the dark side of everything. 4 of Swords is a death card. This
Fauci
playing around.
We're going back to HIV days.
Yeah.
And again, go back to David Martin with the patents, and you can see Fauci's involvement with all of that from way back in when was the AIDS thing? 90s, 80s, 90s? 80s, from back then. This
card is not just like a light warning, you know, setting fire to an office. This is with serious malice in
yes, it is,
with death as the as the thought. He should be worried for his life. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we know with past presidents that what's happened. I'm not going to mention any names, but the hit list goes on and on and on. And most people won't know that, but or won't even think about it. But the list is out there.
Yeah,
the list is out there.
Yeah,
you can
I've
find
forgotten
that.
about Rand Paul and all that.
Yeah.
Good grief. Yes. Yeah. So what about our Witch of the North, Nicola Sturgeon?
Oh God, yes. Yeah. Well, so I mean, this is going to be interesting how far this is going to go, because she's obviously under investigation for the money that's gone missing.
Yes.
Her and her husband. And I think did she basically blame her husband for it all at one point? as a good politician
To
should
be honest, I don't know, but that sounds
sounds about
possible.
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, the homicide committee or something up in Scotland, she's under investigation now for the deaths of the elderly people in the care homes during the COVID thing. So basically, what everyone knows Hancock's done here.
Oh yeah.
She's actually being supposedly prosecuted. Now, how far that's going to go, I don't know.
No.
But it needs to go somewhere, and then it needs to come down here, and Hancock needs to be destroyed over it as well.
Definitely.
But using that, well, Hancock ordered 2 years' supply of midazolam.
Yes.
And it went within weeks, because they were ordered to inject all the elderly with it. And that's when they used those figures of those people that were dying from the midazolam overdoses,
saying it was
COVID.
Yeah, probably don't say that word too much.
I won't say anymore.
I never know what to say and what not to say. It's been ridiculous, isn't it?
Don't care.
No, well, I care because they might pull the video.
Well, you're worried about your £1,000 a week you're earning from YouTube.
Oh, I wish I was. No, do it for the love of it. Come on, pull a card on Nicola Sturgeon. Let's just have a little bit of
Jimmy Cranky.
Yeah, Jimmy Cranky. Our American friends won't understand that. It's
What's that one?
King of Swords in reverse. Well, it's all lies, isn't it? Yeah, and I think she probably did blame her husband. Because we've got the male energy here. Probably, her husband lied to her, misled her, misinformed her.
Of course,
wasn't her fault. I think this is a woman again who won't take any responsibility. The King of Swords.
None of them are taking any responsibility, are they?
No,
they've all been in it because they've been corrupted. They've been paid to do this, that, and the other. And they're all just, it's not my fault, it's someone else's fault.
This is lies, and more lies in the reverse. King of Swords the right way up. That's very, very trustworthy, very, honest with what they say. You could trust what they say, basically. Mentally clear, clarity. No, lies and deception. So that's
and again, it goes back to after the war, Second World War, there was something called Nuremberg.
Nuremberg Code. Yes.
And everything that's happened within the last 2.5, 3 years, whatever it is now, breaks the Nuremberg Code.
Go for that.
There's 10 rules of the Nuremberg Code, and they've all been broken.
Nuremberg Code.
And what happened was, in Nuremberg 1, they found out who was guilty of everything, and they hung them.
Yes.
And it wasn't just the main people, and it was the people who would turn around to you and say, "I was just doing my job."
Yeah, oh well, the Nazis said that, didn't they? We've got the Four of Pentacles here. This is greed. It's money. It's greed, but it's also it's holding on. It's holding on to your position. It's holding on to.
Oh, it's that power they want. That power, don't they?
Yeah, and you can see that. Yes, it is a money card, but it is. You've got your fingers grasped into the power, and you're not letting it go for anything. They'd have to drag you away, screaming and shouting, and even then, you're not going to let go.
No, they won't.
And this is just the whole lot.
They're hanging on. Look at Hancock for it. I mean, Hancock was thrown out.
Yes.
I mean, they had him on bloody having an affair with his whatever she was. I mean,
during lockdown? During
the lockdown thing.
They were all over each other,
what a bloody stupid. I mean, if that was a setup, then God knows what. It was ridiculous.
Can you imagine having an affair with him? I mean, for God's sake.
Why would you do that? But then,
well, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't. No. But then he appears on bloody I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. I mean.
And so many stupid people will go, "Oh, he's rather nice."
Yeah, I mean that's just the media working in conjunction with the governments.
Is that a BBC programme?
No, that was ITV. They're just as bad as the BBC.
They're all as bad as one another. Okay, so leave Nicola Sturgeon. We're going to come on to films. Now, before we get on to Barbie. I've got very strong views on that. Before we get on to that, I was hearing about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the remaking of that by Disney.
Right.
And
I haven't heard anything about the Snow White thing.
He doesn't know about this one, but Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, yeah, it's going to come out next year. The best thing they can do is just bin the lot of this. They've decided that the Seven Dwarfs, you can't have dwarfs, you know. Well, no. It's not politically correct. Never mind the poor people that, you know, were born dwarfs. For some reason, they're not politically correct and they're not really allowed in this movie.
Well, there's got to be some dwarf actors that are probably relying on that sort of stuff anyway, aren't they?
Think of the guy in the thing with Ricky Gervais. I can't think of his name. Warren.
Oh, Warren, the guy that did was he Star Wars?
Yes.
Was he?
Yeah. And
yeah.
It just made his career, and he, you know, he's got daughters that I think are actresses.
Yeah.
I think his wife was an actor as well. I can't remember, she died recently. But Warren, I can't think of his name. You probably know it. But such a lovely man, and you know, that was the making of him, really, and people giving him parts.
Yeah.
And what a lovely man he is. But you know, there are loads of, look at all the people that the small people in the Wizard of Oz, and that sort of set them up for life, didn't it? Some of them it didn't. But
so what have they done with the Snow White then? They've got normal sized people playing the dwarfs.
They have one person who is a little person, and then the others are like 6 foot, all different. All different.
Are they colours of the rainbow? Are they?
Well, they are. They're rainbow.
Of course,
people.
they had to be, didn't they?
One of them looks like I don't know, an Ethiopian runner. He looks like he's 6 foot tall. He was standing at the back, and it was like, well, you know, with the best will in the world, you're not a dwarf.
And I should imagine Snow White is probably a transgender.
No, don't go down that particular cul-de-sac. I haven't seen Snow White. It was just really on the dwarf matter. But I just thought how offensive to small people to say, you know, oh, you can't play a dwarf. You are a dwarf. You can't play one. We're going to have people who aren't dwarfs play. I mean, that is a world gone crazy.
It has gone crazy.
But
then the last TV program that we watched something, and I haven't watched it for months now. There was a program on.
Oh God, yeah.
And Keely Hawes was in it.
Yes, she was.
And it started off really good.
Yes.
And then you suddenly start to realise that it's every new TV program is a tick box.
Yes.
So there was obviously every race possible was in the program.
Yeah.
There was a lesbian.
Yes.
There was a gay couple.
Yes.
There was a disabled person.
Yes.
And then there was a transgender person.
Yeah.
It had everything that needed to be ticked to make everyone happy.
See, the stupid thing is about this, I mean, yes, these people are all part of our world, and you know, absolutely fine. And
I haven't got a problem with that, but don't bloody make it so obvious.
But no, but it's not even that, is it? If you were to do like a sitcom of us, you and me, our life, or anybody, any couple's life, which this was basically, wasn't it? It was like a drama, sitcom, what have you, of somebody's life, you wouldn't meet all those different kinds of people, would you? You know, you might meet a gay couple, well, that would be it. Or you might meet, you know, I don't know, but you're not going to meet every single one of those people from each of those different categories in a 2-week period that would span. Is nutty.
Bizarre, absolutely bizarre. But it's just, and I think again, unfortunately, it was a BBC program, I think.
Yeah.
And we were watching it on, I don't know what it might have been. It wasn't Netflix, but whatever it.
I don't know what it was on, because we haven't got.
Maybe we had it on YouTube or something or other.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah, I think it was when we still had Netflix. I think it was, because we haven't got it anymore. I don't know. But
yeah, it might have been then. I'm not
yeah,
sure, but it was.
That was it. I think
yeah,
that we're not having that anymore.
That's another one we can't go
to. But yeah,
the list is growing.
So small people are being what's the word for it?
Hounded out.
Being hounded because they're not. It doesn't matter about their rights.
I mean,
it doesn't matter about their rights.
If you're gonna shove diversity down everyone's throat, then small people, dwarfs, whatever you want to say, they need to be in there, don't they? Well, especially when you've got something with that you've grown up with from children or older people have anyway.
Yeah, and you know, that is their chance to really you know, make their living if they're actors,
Yeah.
and you've got somebody literally taking the bread out of their mouth. So what with that, and then Disney's what's it called, Barbie, I mean, for goodness sake, I just don't know where to go with this one. It's the production of it is so expensive, and it looks amazing. You can imagine it's broken all records this weekend. But I did a reading on it. Have a look back and see that reading. But it's just so cruel. It's cruel to men, and it's just taking the mickey out of men, and you know, I don't know. I think it's.
Yeah, I
There's just some
haven't
kind of
seen anything
agenda.
about it. Of course, there's an agenda, and it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Disney, Warner, or was it Paramount, or whatever it is. The
Yeah,
whole of that film industry and entertainment industry is riddled with, what's the word? Riddled with, there's a deep, deep underlying agenda going on.
yeah. But you see, I think that
Very,
this
very
whole
deep.
woke thing, it's attacking the family. It doesn't want
They
mum
want
and
to split
dad.
everything up.
Doesn't want mum and
Yeah.
dad and their 2 children, nuclear family. It's just wants to poke the whole time. You know, if you've got a little girl who's a bit of a tomboy, oh well, you know, she's confused in her, you know,
They
in her
want to.
gender. If you've got a little boy who's a little bit more, you know, wants to play with dolls, which God, loads of little boys do, you know. You know, you're trying to streamline them into being something, you know, not rather than just letting children be children.
Well,
You know.
then you get back to the education system here and what they're gonna try and bring in September.
Yes.
Well, what they are doing.
Yeah.
And I know people that are getting letters sent home about it.
Yeah.
And you have to say whether, and again, people don't really know what this is about.
We'll come on to that in a second, but you know, as far as this trying to pull the family apart, and I think, you know, that makes our society weaker. If you can pull apart families.
Of course it does. Then it makes everything easier to control.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you get instead of having 4 people,
yes,
trying to control as one,
yes,
it's easier to control them if you split them up.
Because you know, you think about places like India and think of the way our places of living, you know, used to be, say, 100 years ago. You'd have granny living at home, you'd have the extended family. They always used to say it takes a street or a community to raise a child, didn't they? You know, it was something like that. But the whole community used to raise everybody's children, you know, and everyone was safe. And I was watching a program on the Amish the other night, and you know, they are so dependent on each other. You know, and this is the way that we used to be, and now people are more and more isolated, and this is what this whole woke thing is doing, separating and pulling people apart. Just pull a card on that, this like sort of device, and this is what it is. The more divisive they can be, and it's not just family, it's being divisive against races and, you know, whatever. And this is the message card. It's a very clever message, isn't it? These are like the wands going through the air. And it's a message going out, media, all through the internet, all through the news. But it's all very hidden. And this is a bit like the film Barbie. It's great. And what a great feel-good song. You've got the good music. You've got, you know, the great colours, bubblegum pink, and, you know, wonderful actors in this. But the message nonetheless is divisive. Yeah. And you know,
it will be. It will be. And you just know if those companies are involved in it, there will be something going on in the background there. Yeah. They really will.
So now talk about what you were saying about children going back to school in September.
So they 6-year-olds or whatever it is. Yeah. They want to. I don't know how much I can say on it without getting you banned, but they want to be able to discuss unusual sex.
Yeah, I think.
Shall we say not front door sex
with 6-year-olds?
With 6-year-olds, yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Why can't we just let children be children? I think when a child wants to know about the birds and the bees, they go to hopefully they go to their parents and they ask, and they ask very small little snippets of questions as far as I'm aware. It would just be a very small question and you answer it just at that level, don't you? And you just, answer it just at that level, answer the question, and children are very, okay, and move on. But to do this, to like bang, go in with this, I think this is abuse.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do.
Definitely.
Along with all this transvestites going into schools and doing
the story time thing. Yeah.
That
it's.
I don't know.
I personally, I think it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
We're fortunate we haven't got children, but
yeah,
if we had children,
to say we're fortunate that we haven't got children, but I honestly feel like that.
If we had children, they would be homeschooled. They wouldn't be going to school.
Yeah,
I don't know how we would do it, but we would do it.
I do art in.
Oh, you were doing art and PE, and I was doing everything else.
PE and I can't do anything else. I'd be no good at maths. I'm not very good at geography. Art and PE.
Art and PE.
Yes,
right,
I do the fun stuff.
It's probably just as well we haven't got children, isn't it?
They'd be really old now. We would have children with children. We'd be grandparents by now because we're so old. I know.
Yeah, that's doesn't
scary,
really think about, does it? No. Right, what are we picking on?
I don't really know. Let's pull one about
the education
about the
system.
education, about this whole.
And there are, from what I've seen on comments, there's a lot of people either have taken the children out of school or will be taking their children out of school.
Yeah, this is the child card. The son is the child, the baby, the infant card. So we've got a card expressing young children for a start. This is shining a light on something. This is because it's Shadowland again, you could say that this is shining a light on a topic that little children should not even be.
They shouldn't
even be in their radar.
No, it shouldn't. Not at all.
It shouldn't be in their wheelhouse at all, and to bombard them with this at this age to me, it's abuse.
Yeah, I agree. But then people have got to make a decision, haven't they? Do they send their children to school knowing what's going on? And it's easy for us to sit here and say that because we haven't got children, we haven't got to try and sort all this out. But
no.
Do you go out there and just keep having rows with the school? And say, little Johnny's not gonna be in that lesson that day.
Thank goodness we're not in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm so pleased that if you're our generation, which I think a lot of you are, we were born in the 60s. I'm 63. He's 66.
Sorry?
No, I don't. You are 66. You were born in 66.
Bloody hell! I thought I'd aged 10 years. Then.
You've had a hard paper round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were born in 66. I was born in 63. So I don't know, you're probably younger than us or what have you, but some of us are probably nearer the same age. And I just think we grew up in a golden time, really. And I'm so pleased. And this sounds awful. I'm so pleased that this is all going to carry on and we'll be dead.
Yeah. I totally agree. And the thing is, the people that have no clue what's going on at the moment, and you can see it when you start talking to them. They think you're absolutely mad.
Yes.
And I look back at them and I'm thinking, your children are going to be having children soon, or have got young children, and it's them.
Oh yes,
it's those children that are going to end up getting what this is going on now, if that makes sense.
And it's that Manic Street Preacher song, isn't it? If you tolerate this, then your children will be next.
And it's the Manic's got it spot on.
Didn't they just?
And this is it is and everyone within this, I don't know, the ones that know what's going on are all saying we're doing this for the children. Because they are coming after the children.
Yes.
They are coming for the children.
Yeah.
And we've got the bloody flu thing that they're enforcing
But
in
apparently, I
September.
was talking to a girl that I know who you know as well, and she said this has been going on, this flu jab for them. You know, it's been working
Well, they've
its
been
way up.
building up
Yes,
for
yeah,
this,
yeah,
have they?
yeah.
God, I bet there's been some letters sent home about that.
Yes.
And then that just shows. It just shows if they're pushing, then it's not good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're doing it for an alternative reason.
You know, children, the flu jab was always for like the elderly, the infirm, you know, people that were at real risk of, you know, respiratory trouble. And you can well understand it then. You know, you don't want to get a dose of flu, you know, if you're compromised in any way. Small children should not be in that position,
No.
you know.
I'll make a prediction now. I don't know if this is happening the first or second week of September, but I reckon as soon as they go back to school in September, they will try to push this through and start getting these jabs or nasal sprays or whatever the hell it is. By the end of September, 2 weeks into October, there will be another outbreak of some form of virus or something going round, and it'll be going child to child. Teachers will have it. It'll be going through the families, and it'll just it'll be going round and round and round and round.
Put on that.
I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
That one.
Let's see what the cards say about that. Yeah, I mean, this is Nine of Swords. This is your sleepless nights. This is awake ill, or it's, you know, the worry of it. Because apparently if you don't want your child jabbed or something, you have to give the reason why you don't.
Oh, do you really?
I believe so. This is what I've been told. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I heard yesterday at the gym. We were talking about this, and people who have children, which, you know, I don't, so I'm very much relying on other people to tell me these things. But you have to give the reason why you don't want it.
Oh dear, I'd be up there and I'd explain every bloody reason.
I mean, if I had to do that, I would be awake at night just worrying, because I worry anyway. But
you wouldn't be worrying because they wouldn't be going to school.
Well, no, they wouldn't.
It'd be as simple as that.
I think this is very true in that aspect of, you know, the worry of being ill, your child being ill, then or your family being ill.
But I'll tell you what. If I did have a child at school, because obviously people have got to work and all the rest of it, and they can't afford to have their children at home with them for obvious reasons, I would not trust a teacher, a head teacher, or some bloody nurse that comes around the school, because they will use everything they possibly can to trick those children into having that medication.
I don't disagree with you at all. I don't trust anybody.
So what people will have to do is to put the head teacher and the staff on notice, and basically say to them that if that happens under your watch and my child gets something that I haven't agreed to, I will be after you, and we'll be going legally.
If they are given information that you don't want them to get, you know, it's all the wrong way round. It's like this. What was the card? Let me get that card. This Pentacles card, Six of Pentacles. Do you remember I said to you that's the unfair give and take up the other way? It's like you know, you're taking. You're not. It's not fair and even. Well, with this Pentacles up the other way, you know how I said, oh, the school needs you to say why you don't want it. This is all. It's
wrong. There's nothing right about
bum
that
about face, isn't it? They should be saying, we should be saying, you need to be accountable, not us. You need to be accountable, and I hold you responsible. You don't turn around to me and say, well, you need to do this. No. It's very angry.
I'm angry again now.
So we had all the stuff with the Sound of Freedom. And for some reason, well, not for some reason, we all know why. Hang on, something's come up on my screen. I'm just going to do that. I don't know whether you saw that, but I saw it. Sound of Freedom, and the media just basically poo-pooing it. Oh, this is all conspiracy theory, and oh yes, it happens, but it's just a very small
child
thing,
trafficking and all the rest of it.
Yeah, it's a very, very small, and
they've been mysteriously having sound issues in some of the theatres.
Yeah, they've turned off the aircon. Some of them, you know, all different things just to try. And this film is doing incredibly well incredibly well. When you think it's like 14 million, and I believe that Mission Impossible was over 300 million.
Or was it? Right.
I think for Mission Impossible, they said for it to break even, it had to, you know, get about 900 million. Oh, it was just something ridiculous. It had to make about 3 times what it cost to produce, you know.
Right, okay.
And it's nowhere near it. And good old Sound of Freedom is just going from strength to strength, but it's being so targeted, isn't it?
Oh, it's exposing Hollywood for what it is.
Now,
The wokeness, the child trafficking,
yeah,
and everything that goes with that.
Yeah, let's just pull a card on Sound of Freedom. Just let's pull a card on it. Sound of Freedom, just like the general overall feeling from Shadowland Tarot. Going in there. The truth. The truth. No matter what they say, this is the truth. They say, oh, it's lies, you know, or, oh, this is just conspiracy theory. These things don't happen, you know, all these rituals and goodness, it's all lies. It doesn't happen. This is the truth.
It does bloody happen.
This is the truth.
It does happen.
Wonderful.
And
wonderful.
There's a lot of good people behind that.
Yeah.
You've got Dana White behind it. You've got Rogan behind it.
Yes. Yeah.
And doesn't matter what you think of those people.
No.
They've
got chops as well, and they're listened to.
Yeah.
But yeah, now the thing that I wanted to talk about, now I don't know much about Oprah Winfrey at all. She sort of makes my blood run cold a little bit. There's something about Oprah Winfrey that I've never liked. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, things are coming out about her, but I think she's probably a vile individual. But why wouldn't somebody who proclaims to be such a human rights activist, somebody who obviously wants to get involved with the young girls? And
for a simple reason.
Why is she gone very, very quiet about this film?
Not saying anything about it.
Not saying a thing.
They're involved.
Exactly.
Quite simple.
Exactly.
And I've seen the list down there, and yeah, they're all involved.
Yeah.
And as per usual, it's done under a foundation, under the cover of a foundation.
Foundations. Oh my God. You know, this school in Africa. Now, I'm not going to talk much about it because I don't know, and I'm just talking, and it's me talking, and I'm not talking with facts, but this is very shady. I heard that the girls that go to this school, when they're dropped off there, their parents aren't allowed to see them for more than a couple of hours every month. There's one visit.
Oh, really?
One visit a month.
That's obviously
and it's
in
just
the child's interest, isn't it?
Just a couple of hours every month, you know, and and there's been abuse and goodness knows what going on. I'm not saying any more than that, but apparently Oprah Winfrey, she picked all the bed linen and all the frippery, all the knives and forks and all that like sort of fancy.
She did the really important stuff.
She picked all that, but she didn't bother about looking at who the staff were, and staff were essaying these girls. But oh no, she didn't bother about that. That's not important. So you know, she's just like sort of gone very quiet about this. And then other people in Hollywood are just saying, well, it's just rubbish. It's not true. But we know from this card the truth.
Unfortunately, it's the norm.
Yeah,
it's the norm over there. And
do you know what I thought of? And this has gone very quiet. I think they said in the film Sound of Freedom about you know, when these children are trafficked, they're offered, well, they're not offered, but they're told, oh, you know, you've got a better life, you've got better things coming, and you know, it's like the carrot. And then I thought about this weird thing that went on with Michelle Obama, Melinda Gates, and Imal Clooney. Those 3 very powerful women. They targeted young girls in Africa, didn't they? Do you remember? And it was called Get Her There. And and it was like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing
another foundation, isn't it?
Another foundation, but young girls.
Yeah.
It's always
trafficking.
Young girls.
It's trafficking.
It's
trafficking. I wouldn't trust either of those 3 people or 4 people with Oprah either as well.
No.
And they're all in it together.
Yes.
They'll all be in that together. What's that one?
This is the work card. Yeah. 8 of Pentacles, the working. This is very organized. Look how this little person here, they're painting. It's quite arty, actually. There's nothing arty about this, but you know, sort of creating this little industry here with the shelves, and it's all highly organized work. Pull another one for that. Highly organized.
I've just thought of something here, you saying that. Now obviously there's the Epstein thing still kicking about, and obviously we know Obama has been on the Epstein plane.
Yes.
Melinda Gates' husband.
Oh yes.
My mate Bill's downstairs in the lab at the moment, working, beavering away. He's been on the plane,
of course.
And I believe
Clooney's.
Mrs. Clooney's husband has been on the plane as well. So it all falls into place, and it all adds up.
Pull another one for this working hard. This these foundations working hard. Yeah. You see, Ace of Wands the right way up. Now this is your passion card. If I was to do a not a foundation but a charity for, say, Staffordshire Bull Terriers, this is the way I would be. You know, oh my goodness, we've got to save Staffordshire Bull Terriers. This is much of my example because I'm passionate about my dogs, as you know. And you know, this is the passion card. Oh, you know, I just want to help and do anything that I can to help these dogs. So this is from my point of view. Well, we've got this in reverse. These women sort of saying, you know, we want to help these young girls, and this is all just this is not passion. This is something else.
There's a lot of money changing hands.
Passionate about.
There's an awful lot of money changing hands for these children.
Yeah,
that's basically what it is.
Yeah,
they're funding. They're finding these children for some very, very wealthy people.
Yes.
And they're being paid to do what they're doing, but it's all done under the disguise of a foundation.
Yeah.
And we're doing so much good.
Yeah.
That's what that's all about.
I don't doubt that at all. You know,
whenever you see these names,
yeah,
when these names appear, you know that they're not doing it for the reasons that they say they're doing it for.
I mean, Oprah was very much in with Epstein. Well, not Epstein. Well, yes, Epstein, but Weinstein. Weinstein.
Yeah.
Steins, all the Steins.
Yeah.
Weinstein. And there was a picture of her with her tongue in his ear, and you know, all very sort of cuddly, cozy. Now, apparently, this man that Oprah Winfrey's with, this.
Oh, she a husband or?
Oh no, he's just a man. Tell me his name because I can't remember.
I don't know his name.
But yeah, he's this white guy that she's been with.
She's with a white guy.
Oh yeah, been with him for a long time. I can't think of his name. I do know it, but you know his name. And this is all just like, well, the equivalent of a gay man, you know, having a wife with a beard. You know, it's just like a cover up.
It's a cover up.
Throw one. I'm gonna ask you to hang on. Let me just. Oh,
give him a shuffle.
Throw one on Stedman. That's his name, isn't it? Stedman. I'm pretty sure I'm writing that. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't even know what his first name is. I assume Stedman's his surname. Maybe it's his first name. I don't know. Stedman. Oprah and this man who's been hanging around for years. Look, 2 of Cups in reverse. This isn't a love thing. This isn't like her life partner, her lover, her, you know, her rock. They haven't got this.
It's a convenience thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pure
2 of Cups in reverse. This is not a union. This is a monetary thing. The 2 of Cups in reverse. There's no partnership there. Well, there is.
There's a partnership to do with all these little foundations that are bouncing around.
So let's leave these vile people behind and go on to another equally vile subject, but you know, more sort of environment. What about wind farms?
Wind farms, climate change. Climate change.
Yes, it's absolutely freezing today. We're
middle of July. End of July.
We took the dog out this morning. I wore my wellies and my hat.
Yep.
And my raincoat.
Nicely engineered this morning.
Yeah.
Nicely, or the last couple of days have been nicely engineered.
Well, it's definitely heating up, isn't it?
It's heating up, yeah. Wind farms, yes. I saw something last night from a lady in Australia, and I'm assuming it's very, very similar around the world.
Yeah.
She worked for one of the Australian governments, and she was talking about how the wind farm business operates.
Okay.
So the general gist of the wind farm is everyone thinks that you see these wind farms and the wind blows them and they create electricity.
That's what I thought.
I did until a little while ago, and then there's three wind turbines on the way to Eastbourne.
Yes.
And
when
it's windy, they're not going.
Yes, there's
It's
no
like,
rhyme or reason to it.
And then when the sun's out and it's not very windy, they're turning round.
Yeah.
And it's like, it can't be, it's not that high up there. It can't be a completely different
No.
different
They're always doing weird
level.
things, aren't they?
Yeah. So anyway, she's explained it a lot, and also the monetary scam behind it all. So the wind farms, each turbine runs off of electricity.
Right.
So when it's turning, it's got electricity going to it.
Right.
And then when it gets windy enough,
Mm-hmm.
the winds take hold of it and they create more electricity.
Yes.
And then providing that wherever it goes back to the power station or whatever, the power station can balance out what electricity comes back to it.
Right. Yes.
If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it does make sense.
Now, if you've got a coal-fired power station, then it's no good.
No.
It doesn't work with them.
No.
It doesn't work at all. So you can't have a wind turbine near feeding back to a coal-powered power station. Anyway, it then turns out that this is what happened in Australia. The governments or the wind farm, how did it work? Yeah, the governments gave the wind farm people $600,000 to $900,000 per turbine.
Right. Yes. Yes.
The wind farm company gave the farmer who had the land that the turbine was going to go on, gave them $12,000 a year. This is per year, by the way. Per year, gave the farmer $12,000 a year for each wind farm or each wind turbine. The wind farm company had no liability for that turbine.
Yeah.
So it was the farmer's responsibility. So let's, for argument's sake, say that he had it on the boundary of his property.
Yeah.
And they cleared out an area of trees or whatever.
Yeah.
And let's just say one wind turbine caught fire.
Yeah.
Burnt down, fell over, or whatever, and went into the neighbouring property, trees or whatever, caught fire. That's the farmer's responsibility. Nothing to do with the wind farm.
So they get all
company.
the money and none of the responsibility.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's repeated year on, year on, year on.
And then
there's all these subsidies given to the wind farm companies, that amount of money, to basically devastate forests.
I was just going to say, you've got to
clear areas of land, clear trees,
trees,
because obviously trees give out CO2, which the world needs CO2, doesn't it? But we need to get rid of them, because climate change is so bad.
Yes.
And we need this renewable energy. It's an absolute, all of it is a scam. All of it is a scam. And then with these wind turbines, I knew that when the blades, it gets to the point where the blades can't be used.
Okay.
Now, obviously, they're massive. Yeah, the carbon footprint on actually building a wind turbine and then putting it up is astronomical.
Just one
is astronomical. So what they have to do is to get rid of them. They have to dig a blade great hole, put the turbine fans in there, propellers in there, and then bury them. Or you can do like I saw in this video last night, find a nice little forest out the way somewhere and just dump them.
Oh my goodness. So let's just pull on. It's
all a scam. And the sooner people realise it is all a scam, the better. It really is.
The wind farms. Let's just pull a card. Overall energy on them. Justice in reverse. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing fair and just about this.
No,
this
nothing.
Is very bad decision, bad legally, bad morally, bad in every way.
Yeah. there's nothing good out of them.
No.
Nothing at all.
And you know, and that's without going into electric cars.
Oh, just don't get me started on electric cars.
That's for another day. Well, I think that we've been going on for quite a while here, and we covered quite a few different things.
I mean, we're doing this every week now, aren't we? It's just like it's just one clown thing after another coming out. Well, we find it, but you won't see it on your normal news channels.
No, and the people watching it, you know all about this. It's just a shame that in a way we're preaching to the converted.
Oh, even if just one person just watches this and it sort of gets their brain ticking and just thinks, oh, I better go and have a little look
just
about
have
this.
a look, yeah. So let's pull a card each on just our energy now at the end of all this.
Our energy, right?
Yeah, how are you feeling?
Oof. I don't know. I bet I'm going to take my electric car for a drive, I think. So, who was it? Katie Hopkins said, "Oh, if you're a Tesla driver, you have to drive around with a petrol generator in your boot, because none of the bloody charging things work anywhere, do they?"
Oh, I don't know.
No, people are driving around. People are driving around in these electric cars, and they're getting low on charge, and they're frightened to have the. So this is the thing with these electric cars. If you're in the hot weather when it's been hot, if you have your aircon on, that's draining the electricity. If you've got your radio on, that's draining the electricity. If you're going out at night, that's draining the because you've got the headlights on. Everything's draining the electricity. So the anxiety is whether you're going to get to another charging station and it's going to work.
Very quickly, and I'm going to do the précis version of this. I'm going to really condense it down. Julian had some friends that were at a motocross event up north somewhere, and they had taken the train up. And
no, they've gone to football. They've gone to Liverpool football.
All right, they've gone to Liverpool football, and they were going to get the train back. And then someone said, "Oh, look, you know, I've got my car, I've got my electric car. Come with me. I'll give you a lift. I'm going back down to London. Come with me." So they thought, "Oh, well, yeah, we'll do that. We'll have a nice trip in a car rather than having to schlep all the way back down south on a train." So how long did it take them to get
10
back?
hours. 10 hours.
They could have done it in about 3 hours on the train.
10 hours. So the general gist of what happened was they came out of Liverpool, got onto the motorway, had to stop at the first service station to charge the car up.
Yeah.
They get into the service station, there's a queue for the electric chargers. So they had to wait. They had to wait an hour before they could get into the charging point. It took, and obviously you have to pay extra for this. The fast charge was 45 minutes apparently, so they paid extra to get the fast charge.
So that's an hour and 45
minutes. Hour and 45 minutes just to get it charged before they could go on any further. In the end, this happened the next one as well, because they ran out of charge for that. The same thing happened at the next one. They were literally putting enough charge in to get to the next charging point.
So there you go.
Clown world.
So
clown world.
Come on then, let's pull an energy card for each of us. You pull yours, stick it on your head, face in, and see what you've got. It depends. Well, it's for you. It's for you. So
okay, there it is. Whatever that is.
Okay, all right.
Where's that one? I have no idea what it is.
You've got 2 spiders by the looks of it.
Right.
I'm gonna.
What's that mean?
Go in there. I'll tell you in a minute. Let's go there. Okay, we've got. Look at me.
I can't even see what it says.
You've got 4 of Wands.
What have you got in?
I don't know. 4 of Wands, and I've got 5 of Swords in a reverse. Okay, so let's start with yours. 4 of Wands. This is your happy home. This is just
right.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. You know.
I'm happy.
Exactly. I'm happy. You own nothing.
I own nothing. I'm very, very happy. I eat bugs.
Look at those spiders. That's you.
Oh,
Can you see those? Look. Can you see those 2 spiders? That's him and me. That's our house. Look at that. That's our house.
Yeah.
That's him and me in our web. We're all right, aren't we? You're all right. So that's quite a sort of happy.
Yeah. What's yours?
Happy with your 4 walls. Well, mine.
Are you slitting your wrists?
Well, I'm not so happy. No. I mean, I've got 5 of Swords, which is this is your niggling fighting card, but I'm up the other way, thank God. So this card up the right way, this is winning at any cost. This is like battling. This is trying to win any old battle. Whatever battle you've got to have the last say, and got to be right. You know, that's that energy on that. But I've got it up the other way, and I think
That's
this
the
is.
woman's card, isn't it?
Oh, you
Oh,
can't go around saying things
can I
like
say
that.
that? Can I say that?
Oh, you're
Oh,
toxic male.
oh, a toxic male
I
now.
was very toxic male.
Very toxic.
See what I'm married to?
Yeah.
Dreadful man. So yeah, but so up the other way, this is letting it go. This is knowing, and I think this is true, knowing what arguments are important, knowing which things to stand up for and get aggressive over and get, you know, that's wrong, and letting the other stuff go, not sweating the small stuff. And I think that's very true, you know, the way I feel. You know, I hear so much and I think, oh, just grow up, get over it. You know, really, is that what you've got to complain about? You know, if you're going to complain about something, make it a big thing and do it properly. You know, and that's sort of the energy of that Five of Swords in reverse. So that's definitely how I feel. And you're quite happy in your
I'm very happy. Yeah, I'm very happy.
in your little
Yeah.
cobweb.
No, Klaus's way of the world is best way to be.
It is.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
Just don't own anything,
No.
and you'll be very, very happy.
But are you a useless eater?
Well, I am, because I'm eating the bugs. I haven't had any steak for a long time now.
No.
So yeah,
Oh,
insects all the way.
okay. Well,
go Beyond Burgers is the best one.
Beyond Burgers.
Beyond Burgers.
No, we don't want that. That rubbish. We've got. What have we got?
Got some ribeye
Ribeye
today.
steak.
Ribeye.
I can smell it coming up the stairs.
It is. Yeah, it's gonna be.
We've
That'll
got
be ready in
ribeye
a couple of hours.
steak for lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna
Nice,
be
wouldn't it?
nice, isn't it?
Very, very
And
nice.
sprinkling of bugs over the top.
Yeah.
Dressing.
Yeah.
Well, look, we are going to go. Hope you enjoyed
Until
that.
next week.
Whatever you've got to add, let me know. You know, if I've gone wrong on any of these facts and things, you tell me, because I don't, you know, these things that we do, and when I do my readings as well, I don't research. You know, I'll read a little bit and I just pull. I go on energy. It's what the cards have to tell me. So, you know, to me, it makes no sense if you do like a very highly organized search and you research everything, then you're not really doing a tarot reading, you know.
No, that's true.
So
I think we need to get the pendy out and do a pendy session.
well, I have said that I am going to, but I haven't got enough questions. So, you know, you've got
I can give some questions on the day if you want.
Okay, all right. But anybody
You might
out
want
there
to censor
who's
them.
got some yes/no questions, you know, that would be great. Anything but not Harry and Meghan. Won't do that. But anything apart from them.
Yeah.
So, well, that's it, isn't
That's
it?
it. Yeah.
Should we go and eat our steak?
Yeah, I've got a Bill wants a hand downstairs.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort Bill out.
Well,
Yeah.
say goodbye then.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Yeah, next week. Ah.